Have you ever wondered what my perspective on Desmond Classic was? And my story on how I started Roblox with other games before playing Desmond Classic? Well, to start us off, in 2020, I created what would be known as my second main account, before I lost the original main account that I once used. Couldn't see the name at the top of my head, but it was also along the lines of Area 51. After losing that main account, I swapped to my second main account, which would be called Area 51 Hacky 99. Now, coming off of my first account, I played Blox Fruits and enjoyed it a lot, even getting multiple accounts over 30 million bounty and honor on over 9 accounts. After a while of Blox Fruits, I grew bored and longed for another game, but that wouldn't come until late 2020. Meanwhile, in 2021, I started focusing on Blox Fruits PvP, becoming a top PvPer, meeting new people like Maestro, DJ, and Madara. These were my best friends at the time up until late 2020. And that's when I received a random DM on September 22nd, 2020 by M2 Bloodstream. Otherwise known as Lonnie, Bloodstream's main account. Bloodstream primarily played on Lonnie killing civs or rip farming VIPs from 2021 to 2023. On that note, that's where M2 Ariel was born, sniping with Bloodstream playing on his Lonnie account since November 5th, 2022. With Bloodstream and me racking up 400 kills. Now, in 2023, I was added to a group DM called Demonology Group. I played Demonology with Bloodstream if we were bored. But in the Demonology group, I met a lot of people I still know today, being BW Poop, M2 Himothy, Silver Gold, Ares, and Brazier. Now, the Demonology group would go on to being Deadzone slash Roblox, and then changing into the modern M2 clan in the heat of mid 2023 and mid 2024, and then changing into the DT clan in 2025. Now, I wouldn't get anywhere decent until mid to late 2023, focusing heavily on training and honing my PvP skills to go 50-50 with Poop's prime extent and Himothy's prime extent of their careers. Now, in early 2024, people started to really notice that me and Poop would run duos a lot of the time, being up until mid 2024 and the full peak of my prime of my career. Now, I think it's important to realize the actual extent of my prime. Now, I would win 1v5 after 1v5 on ping that was in the hundreds of thousands of MS, being Dusters, Snowy's team, and even a 1v4 against Target, Sari, Tiz, and Snowy, as well as beating hackers in 1v5s normally. Now, I think everyone in the community should know I've already said to everyone that I played on horrible ping before my entire career up until 2026. Well, the only biggest lag spike I had was 80k. But through my entire career, I played on the worst PC out of every single Desmond Classic player. It was so bad I couldn't get over 20 FPS sometimes in public servers. Yet out of all these setbacks, I completely dominated. If you have ever seen Target, Sheep, and Duster, just these guys were good. But did they even come close to being as setback as I was? No. The truth is, I dominated even on the worst PC and the worst ping out of anyone, and beat cheating and top PvPers in 1v5s. Now, going out of my prime in 2024, it was a huge drop in my skill, as I didn't take the game seriously and just messed around, leading to massive drop after massive drop of skill. Now, don't get me wrong, I was still crazy good, beating Prime Heyo easily, 8-2. Now, going on to 2025, and the end of 2025, I would continue to lose all my skill, even going 50-50 with Heyo now, when he's out of his prime. One thing that should be taken into accountability is that I started playing so casually that after you peak in a game and reach the pinnacle of skill, you just ride the initial wave of success and never improve and hone your skills. It just makes your skill drop. You don't try and enjoy a game, it affects your mental health, as I was going to quit in 2025. But I wanted to reach 10k kills first. And fast forward to 2026, I have 7k kills and still close to getting 10k kills. But after everything I've done, and I've decided to make a 20, place a huge prize of 20k Robux for whoever wins. Now, you wouldn't expect there to be any drama for a small Dead Zone copy, but there was a massive controversy between Evan Pack and Pocky. The drama was primarily on how Pocky was corrupt and banned people for no reason. Later, however, Evan would uncover hidden DMs from Pocky wanting to have quote-unquote sex with another moderator and wanting the moderator to rape her. Now, after Pocky was exposed, Evan Peck dropped 2 more videos on exposing her even more and causing Pocky to leave the community for good. After a while of Evan Peck winning, there was a forum created on Pocky made by Evan Peck. Now, Evan Peck didn't make this whatsoever. It was another person who tried to frame Evan into even more controversy. Now, these people were Russian cheaters. These people knew Duster and created the Dockspin forum to frame Evan and to leak all of Pocky's personal things. I was personally warned by Duster not to investigate, and I didn't until Evan realized that if you don't click links and you don't trust some random links, using common sense, they can't do anything. So Evan Pag won another drama. Most players who are more in the community say that Evan Pag has a huge ego now. But I honestly think he does have one, but it's on and off. Evan is truly a nice person if you are good friends with him, but if you look at a broad scale of the community, you can see in spots that Evan Pag might have been more corrupt than Pocky. Famous quote being, when given power, people change who they are and act not only to keep the power, but to abuse it for their own needs. Now, on another note, I've had many accounts of the years, primarily going to talk about my Dead Zone Classic alts. Now I'll only talk about 3 out of the 50 that I currently own, because it would literally take more than 10 hours. But to start us off, we have my main account reaching 7k kills, negative 2.1 million rep, and 13k zombie kills. Now, my favorite account would be I Love Ditchy, Hehe, which grinded Souls RNG in its peak player counts, getting auras worth billions. I think at the time there's Guardian Angel or something, 1 out of 250 million. But I played it primarily through 2021, 2024. But if I had to pick one alt that truly stand out, it would be Def Not an Alt account easy. It was banned by Pocky, reason being that Evan Pag was going to make an unreleased video about going to the very bottom of the Dead Zone Classic map. Now, when we were both in a call, Evan told me to write in graders something about Pocky, and I wrote, ban that bitch Pocky. Now, almost 3 seconds later, after I finished placing all the graders, Pocky joined and promptly banned that account.